So today we're doing a major inspection and a camchain change on DV58MZT. I'm going to start with some basics. So the first one being checking the oil. Now, these dipsticks are very difficult to read, generally speaking, but I have cleaned it off before I started filming because it's really a two-handed job. And if you look at that dipstick, it's dry in part, which means actually that's not getting any oil from the sump. That's probably from the tube that it goes down to before it gets there. So oil is low. Oil is low. That's 4.2 litres of oil from empty to full, and there's normally a litre between the low point and the high point there, but actually if you look at the tip, it's dry. So it's below 3 litres, so I'd say there's probably about 2 litres of oil in there, and there should be 4. Water is clean. The engine bay is really clean. Let's have a look at the service computer. So the service computer on these cars is in the dash. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on. So ignition on there, and I'm going to press this button on the end. So as of today, the car's on 795 miles. Interestingly, we've got a -40° sign up here, which tells me that the exterior temperature sender unit, which is in the bumper, is disconnected or faulty. That does make a difference to the run of the car, because the car thinks it's -40 outside, and it then changes the mixture of the petrol and air accordingly. So anyway, I'm going to cycle through, just press, set info, press and hold. Now let go, press and hold. So your rear brakes, according to this, are due in 2,100 miles. This is your brake fluid, due August of 2022. Oil, apparently, is due in 17,000 miles or 08/2022. Oh, that tells me the battery's low. I've got to go through it again now. So I'm going to start the car up so the battery doesn't die on me again. Do you know what? It doesn't want to run, does it? I suspect that's due to low oil. I'm going to go through, do this again. Sorry, gone too far. Alright, service info, we've done that one, done that one, done that one. Right, so this is major inspection, is during 33,000 miles or August 2024, front brakes 18,000 miles. That's the service menu, so there we are. So I'm just going to go around the bodywork of the car, and I'd say, you know, for a 2008 car, it's in really nice condition. This is Astro Black Metallic. There's some minor scratches on here. A good machine polish should bring that back to life. You don't have alloy wheels or steel wheels. Tyres look pretty good. We have a selection of 15-inch alloy wheels coming back, being refurbished at the moment as it happens. We've got one set black, one set white, and one set silver. So if you're interested, we could supply you with a set of alloys. And there's a scratch here. That's gone through the paint into the primer. But there's no major dings on the car. So the rear brakes, the rear wheels, they're not binding, that's good. We've got a bit of a bruise here, a dent here, and some scratches here. See the dent if I do that. The Mini 1 isn't generally a high-spec car, but it's a very good learner car. And there's no bruises or dinks on the bodywork actually, so it's in very good condition in that respect. Yeah, all the brakes, none of them binding. Often the rear brakes bind. That's misaligned. Oh, that's probably due to this, which we can fix. We have bumpers that we can do, and I wonder whether this has caused the temperature sender unit to fail. So looking under the car then, exhaust is in pretty decent shape, I'd say. This brake is binding a little bit, so hear that, it doesn't spin, and this one spins. Tiny amount, it should spin better than that, but this one is binding a little bit. It'll mean that the brake pads will wear down more quickly. There is surface rust down here, but that's normal. Shock absorber's in good condition, spring seam okay. These surface rust on the, I mean, these, I'm not seeing these rust through. These are pretty hardy. The covers here protect the brake lines which go underneath, and I had a look up there and they seem to be in good condition. These are in good condition. This is just a filler. If you have a spare tyre, it would go there. Coming up, the other side's in pretty good condition. It's not been grounded, it would, I'd say. CV boot even is good. Inner CV boot is good. Sorry, steering boot is good. A lot of oil here. So in a minute I'll take the wheel off and we can look at this more thoroughly. But you can see there's a lot of oil. Flexi joint seems to be okay. This is leaking. And up there, you can see there's a lot of oil coming out from somewhere. We'll check that. Over here, inner CV gate is good. So that's the outer one, that's the inner one. And your steering gate is good. So all that's as you'd hope it would be, not bad. Yeah, I mean, oil leak, big oil leak on the car. So, diagnostic scan. Your battery, by the way, is in very poor condition. I've had to put a battery charger on the car so the ignition stays on, and I need the ignition on to do the scan. So the first problem here, we've got 2 codes on the engine management side. Get rid of the reflection. So, power management closed circuit violation, ambient temperature signal. Well, we know about that, don't we? Okay. So, ABS fault. That could well be due to a low battery signal. I'll clear them in a minute and see what remains, but some of these faults occur when the battery gets too low and it starts turning things off. If they're clear and don't come back, the chances are they're old faults and they're related to maybe an intermittent problem or something else. Outside temperature sensor we know about. CAS system is the immobilizer system. Let's have a look what it says here. Implausible signal from engine management. What we'll do here is we'll clear the codes, and having done the chain and taught it all in, let's see what remains afterwards. But this is just a record of what's on the car already. Okay, at some point there's a light out the front. It might still be out, it might not. Integrated heater control, no message. Likely to be a poor battery causing those. So I'm going to clear, not kill. So we're not going to get rid of the external temperature sensor because clearly that's missing or broken. All right, we'll come back to this after we've done the chain. Right, so now I've removed the left headlight. I can't take this one off because that bolt in there is kind of fixed itself to the attachment in there, so I'm not going to force it. I've taken the front off there, the metal thing, and then the grille, and I've taken the spark plugs out and the rock cover off. You see the chain now, and we can see the top of the engine. So that's that. I've also taken the wheel arch liner out. Let's have a quick look so that I can get to this. Now, you can see a lot of oil on this engine. I have yet to find out where that's coming from. I'll also say that in your little impact, you've bent this, that's been bent back. It's been unplugged as well. So that's the horn. This is for your temperature sender unit, which goes round to there. That's the temperature sender unit there. So what I'll do in a minute is have a play with that, see if it's just a connection or whether the unit's damaged itself. I do have another one, so I can put that right. So now I'll drain the oil and I'm going to start stripping this away. What I need to do is remove that engine mount there and this engine mount here, when I do that, I put a jack underneath the engine, and I've got to remove this pulley, that tensioner there, and get to that. There's one there as well, and there's one behind there, which all hold the camchain in. So I'll strip that next. So just while we're here, you might be interested to see how it works. This is the parts I've taken off the car. There's no one else in the workshop today, so I'm just leaving them there. I'd normally put them somewhere a bit more tidy. And I put all the bits to take off into these drawers in the order that I take them off on. So that when I put the car back together, if there's anything left, I know it's off your car. The alternative, of course, is to, I don't know, put a pile on the floor or mount them on the bonnet. I'm a bit more anal retentive than that, so I don't do that. Anyway, I'm going to drain the oil now, and what I'm going to do as well is measure the oil, how much oil comes out, because I suspect there's not enough in there. So I'm draining the oil into this plastic tub, and what I'll do when it's finished, I'll measure it using a measuring jug to see how much oil we actually get out of the engine. So this is the oil that's come out of your car, and I'm just going to use this measuring jug to see how much oil we've got. It's a 2 litre jug. Goodness. So the car should have 4.2 litres of oil in the car, in it from, well, when doing oil change we put 4.2 in there, and that's 2 litres to the top. That's 2 litres there, so that's 1.1 litres of oil I've taken out of this car. 1.1 litres, and it should have 4.2 in there. Right, so now we've got the top engine mount on, and I've put the timing tool on. I've penned the crank. I've got the jack supporting the engine, and you can see how oily this all is here. And I'm going to clean it all off so that we get a standard chance to see where it comes from. I think it's coming from that there, which is that. That's the timing tensioner, timing chain tensioner. Now, there's little, it seems to all be below there. There's not a lot of other places it can come from. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, is clean it all off. We'll change that tensioner as part of the service we do anyway, the timing chain service. So I'm hoping that'll fix the oil leak, but you need to keep an eye on that. Right, I found the cause of your oil leak. This, which should be tight, is loose. It's finger tight. That is the Camchain tensioner, and it is a spring that's also oil activated, and you're losing oil out of there. So hopefully that's the only oil leak, which will be rectified by the Camchain change. There. You can see it's full of oil. It's also rather stained. It's old oil. This is very brown. The new one will be quite yellow, so you'll see that in a minute. Right, so I've taken out this sprocket. I've taken the pin out of that one. I'm now taking out the bottom sprocket. So this is, this is the crank pulley, and there's the chain behind it. And now I should be able to lift out the whole chain. Yeah, come on. And there is the chain. Good. This is the new chain assembly. As you can see, the very different colour now between the plastics. That plastic used to be this colour. So you can see the oil staining on it. It's in one piece though. Sometimes these thin parts get brittle and they drop into the sump and they block the oil pump, but that doesn't seem to have happened here. We'll just drop that into there and reassemble. So we're on the homeward straight now. Chain's in, tension's in, these are torqued up, and bottom crank bolt's torqued up. I need to put the seal in and then put the pulley on. Then it's a case of putting the taking off the timing tool, putting the rock cover on and fill it with oil. Nearly there. Right, so let's give this a go. That sounds pretty good to me. So I've just changed this, which is the temperature unit, which is that down there. This is your old one. And we still have a -40 reading here. So it's to do with the wiring then, that needs looking at. So, well, I see, look, in the smash, the wire snapped. Okay, well, that needs looking at. So I left the car running while I put the car back together. That's about 15 minutes now, running smoothly, quietly. As you can hear, I think it's pretty decent. Just one last thing, I did notice that's broken there. At some point that's been off and someone damaged it, just be aware of. Right, now I'm going to check for codes and reset the oil service light. So I've got the engine running now and I've just done a scan to see what remains. I've also taught in the new timing, so that when you change the timing chain you've got to teach in the new timing settings. That's all been done. Let's see what this says. It's a signal fault on your instrument panel. Really not very clear what that is. Doesn't appear to be causing any problems at the moment though. And this is on your instrument panel. Outside temperature sensor. I think that may be responsive for the other one, I don't know. But that's the only two faults that remain, and the car sounds good. And we're done for the day.